Welcome back to Treasure Theory, guys, where we talk about all things cards and collectibles. I thought I would step into a new corner that I haven't filmed yet, not to show off my beautiful collection of One Piece cards and some books and stuff like that, but more to focus on a very specific and very serious topic in the One Piece TCG. And what on earth could I be talking about? Well, guys, to put it plain and simply, the question is, what is the longevity of the One Piece TCG? So many people are speculating where the One Piece card game is going to go, in the next 5-10 years. And rightfully so, because One Piece isn't Pokemon, let's be honest. And it's not Magic. And I would honestly put all three of those card games in their own complete categories. But in this video, guys, we're going to be really talking about the longevity of One Piece the One Piece TCG, the IP. Is it going to be a worthy investment to hold on to down the road? What my personal plan is and strategy. We're going to get into a lot of really interesting things, so I hope you stick around to watch this video, and I would love for you to interact with this video as well. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, guys. I like to make this an open conversation for all of us because, listen, we don't really know where any of this is going, but we might be able to figure it out together. So leave a like, subscribe, and let's get into it. So real quick, guys, just want to show off something I snagged recently. I got the Rebecca SP from the PRBO 2 set, and I got the Zoro Juro from the OP12. Not sure how good that looks, but very happy with these cards. And you know what, guys? Lately, I've been really looking at my cards that I've been purchasing and really trying to dig deep down and ask the questions like, why am I spending so much money on these cards? And, specifically One Piece as well, because I'm not really a crazy Pokemon guy or Magic, but as a collector, mainly collector, and perhaps you're someone who loves the card game, or perhaps you're somebody who's investing in One Piece, I really ask myself, are these cards worth it? Are these cards worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to own? I have a couple of things I want to say. One Piece is the best-selling manga of all time. The top shonen of all time, okay? And Oda himself is the 7th most prolific writer in history. Okay? So just take those two things into account right now, all right? But hold on now, we got the haters who were like, yeah, but One Piece is going to end soon and people are going to forget about it. Guys, did we forget about Beethoven? No? Did we forget about, what's her name? Oh God, this is terrible. Did we forget about J.K. Rowling? Did we forget about Socrates? Okay, maybe these aren't the best examples, but listen, the point is, Oda himself has solidified his name into the history books. One Piece is his greatest creation, and guys, we're still living in the middle of it. Not necessarily the middle, but we are living through the creation of this renaissance that is One Piece. This incredible story. Now, granted, some people who watch One Piece may be getting a little cringed out watching me be so, hyped up over One Piece. But listen, guys, I've been watching anime my whole life. I've been watching so many animes, and there's so many great shows, okay? I love Naruto. I love Dandadan, Bleach. I mean, there's so many shows I've watched. Dr. Stone, Jujutsu Kaisen. Granted, a lot of these are kind of mainstream animes, if you want to call it that, but I've watched a lot of stuff. Zatch Bell. Look at this. I love Zatch Bell, okay? Zatch Bell does anyone remember Zatch Bell? Such a niche anime for some reason, but it was like such a big deal back in the day. But I loved Zatch Bell. But out of all the stories that I've grown up with, One Piece has still continued to grow up right beside me. Right beside all of us. And I find that's the most beautiful thing about One Piece right now, is that it's still going on. I mean, this anime started in the late 90s, guys. I remember being a kid and just casually catching a couple of episodes here or there on the TV back in the day when we didn't have choices for what we watched. But if you saw an episode of One Piece on, you would sit down and watch it. So guys, One Piece is just this incredible story that is still going strong. And if you are caught up, Elbaf, Zebek, that's all I'm going to say. All right? But guys, in the latest chapter, oh my God. Cinema. cinema. Gota is not human. All right? Now listen, I might just look like a fanboy here, but the point I'm trying to say is that, the proof is out there, okay? Whether I'm a big old fanboy of One Piece or not, the proof is out there. People love One Piece, and we cannot wait to see what the One Piece truly is. And like, the manga is still continuing. The story is still continuing. We are still teetering at the edge of our seats every week or two, as long as Oda's in good health, to know what is going on in God Valley right now. What is going on with the next chapters, Elbaf, all this stuff, Laugh Tale. Guys, listen, and the episodes that are being animated on Egghead, holy crap. I've never eaten so well in my life. I'm sure you can agree. We've been eating too good, all right? So will I put a little bit of money in One Piece because I love the damn show and manga so much? Absolutely. But let's really talk about this. Outside of being a fanboy and loving One Piece, which there's nothing wrong with, and it's the best anime ever, what is the actual speculation of One Piece long term? Because so many people bring up this point. What is the long-term speculation of One Piece? Especially in the card game. So many people just love to scream over on, is it pirate folks on Reddit and stuff? Oh, people are going to forget about One Piece. Guys, I don't know about you, but I have carried a little piece of every show I've watched, like Zatchbell, since the beginning. And One Piece is just so massive. And it's close to Pokemon, but granted, Pokemon's a whole different thing. But guys, One Piece, it's still alive, it's still well, it's still going on. We're not there yet. So if we were to really project into the future, okay, really just think about this for a second. Will One Piece, the TCG, will it die? Quite frankly, I really don't think so. How many people are going to want to watch One Piece once it's completed who've never cared about it before in their lives? There's so many people out there that are going to become fans of One Piece that we don't even... that don't even know it exists yet. And it's going to live on forever and ever. And guys, the marketing team behind One Piece are geniuses. They continue to... They never seem to miss, okay? Sometimes in the movies, they're a little odd and stuff like that. But for the most part, the anime, the manga, the story, it never misses. The marketing's fantastic. And guys, the card quality from Bandai is mind-blowing. When I really started dwelling into Pokemon cards, I really started to see how often a lot of these cards are not in the best quality, I'd be picking up Pokemon cards and being like, oh yeah, this looks fine. And then a guy would point out, yeah, but the centering's off. What the hell does that mean? And like the corner, like the sides are, one side's bigger than the other, centering's off. I mean, guys, there's a saying in the One Piece card game. There's a reason why most cards that are submitted to PSA are 10. Because Bandai is top tier, and I believe their error rate or their mess up rate for cards is like below 1%, which is like fantastic. So the card quality itself is fantastic. They're really, really well created cards. Unlike Pokemon, which got some weird issues with their printing. The IP is super impressive. The story is still relevant, and I think will be relevant for years to come. I mean, guys, let's be really honest. When One Piece finally ends, I don't even want to think about that, but when One Piece finally ends, guys, it's going to be a big event. The world will come together to watch this, and once we finally know what the One Piece is, so will everyone else. And I feel bad for those people who aren't caught up yet, but I just think the mystery behind this show is a huge integral part of One Piece, and I think there's so many relevant things that happen in One Piece that make people love it so much. And I just think One Piece represents so much. So when it comes to like the long-term investment of One Piece, guys, I don't think it's out of the question to think that One Piece is probably going to be a really good investment for a long time. Now, in 20, 30, 40 years, will One Piece still be relevant? I really don't know, okay? Because listen, at the end of the day, we have no idea where this is going. But will the people who own the rights to Oda's work or whatever after he passes on, will they continue to never miss? Will they continue to build stories from One Piece? Will fans continue to eat that shit up? Who knows? Oda himself will always be the master behind One Piece, regardless of any spin-offs, and I don't believe there will be. But guys, I mean, overall, I just think we are witnessing history in real time. And even if so many people are like, One Piece is whatever, I like Naruto more, whatever, like, regardless of people's opinions, okay? We are still witnessing the creation of this fantastic story. So let's take all of what we just said into consideration, okay? Best-selling manga of all time. Oda himself is the 7th most prolific writer in history in terms of sales and stuff like that. The One Piece story is incredible and still going. The animation quality for One Piece is incredible. Okay. The cards are fantastic quality. We're part of history. I mean, there's definitely more I'm leaving out here. But guys, there's one other thing I've left out. All of these sets that have been printed are gonna run out, guys. We're already seeing this with, OP1, OP2, OP3, everything below, I would say OP9 is already becoming in short supply because they're not making them anymore. Granted, we may have some reprint sense, but look what happened there. We had PRBO 1, PRBO 2. Oh, they're reprinting the mangas. The mangas just got more expensive. Bandai is doing incredible work at keeping this card game stable, keeping the market alive, and hopefully we can fend off the scalpers long term. But, I'll even throw in something else here that I thought was interesting. I went into a card store today. Well, it was more of like a comic store, but they sell cards. And I literally heard the shop owner talking to the employee about how frustrated they are that they can't get enough supply of One Piece cards. Because so many people want them, so many people want to buy them, they can't get enough allocated to their store. And, it seems like the distributors themselves are already starting to, pull the strings on who gets what and stuff like that. I mean, guys, this is straight up, supply and demand at work. And granted, yes, it's being, done artificially, but, that's just how this works. But, they're not just blasting cards out constantly. People are hungry for these cards. People want these cards. And guys, these cards are beautiful. I mean, look at this. Look at this buggy card, okay? This is one of the top chase cards from OP9, and there were 4 other mangas, including the Gold Roger in there. Guys, the fact that I even managed to get Buggy, which, by the way, I don't see a lot of Buggy on sale. I'll be really honest, I don't see a lot of Buggy. He seems kind of rare if you ask me. But the manga pieces look fantastic, guys. I mean, look at this. I cannot get over how incredible the quality of these cards look, and the uniqueness of them being manga backgrounds. Fantastic, guys. I mean, compare One Piece to Magic, compare it to Pokemon. I mean, there is no comparison, really. Because Magic just drops the ball, if you ask me, when it comes to their rare cards and their who gives a shit about you pulled a card and I got that little holographic circle in the... Who gives a shit, okay? Obviously, people who play the game are going to want that. But, that's a $500 card. Doesn't really look like it. We get some holo foils and all that stuff, but who cares? You look at Pokemon, yeah, they have some textured cards, but, the rarity is all over the place because you pull some textured Pokemon cards that are worth nothing, and you pull some that are worth a couple $100. But then you've got these illustration rares, which also have no texturing, and they're nice to look at, but that's it, okay? The One Piece card game has capitalized on this texturing stuff, which people love. Cannot deny it. People love to, put their fingers on the cards, which granted you shouldn't do, but, you know what I mean? People love to see the detail and the quality on these cards. But, where am I going with all this, guys? The demand, the quality is there, okay? And as the print run runs its course, there will be less and less supply from those sets. So these cards will get more and more rare. And, actually, let me show you something real quick. I recently ordered this PSA 10 of Sakazuki from the OPO2 set. And I mean, guys, beautiful card. Fantastic print. And I think there's 4 other versions with Boa, Trafalgar, Magellan, and I think there's one other. Oh, Whitebeard, right. Beautiful looking set of cards. But guys, they are just, they're going to become more rare. I mean, the Boa waifu tax is $500. So guys, over time, the beautiful cards that people love from these sets, they're going to want them. They're going to go after them. They may even invest in the sets, buy the sets at a higher value to get their chance at it. I mean, guys, listen, imagine the hype. You know, when you watch these Pokemon guys who are like cracking open something that was like made 15, 20, 30 years ago, and it's like, oh my God, we're going to be getting that. We're going to be getting that for like the real One Piece fans and wherever else the One Piece IP goes. People are going to want this stuff. Now, nothing goes up forever. So don't assume that every little investment you get in the One Piece card game is going to always go up to the moon and stuff like that. That's not how any of this works, okay? Things do come down. But as of right now, guys, speculating in the next 5-ish years, I think One Piece is going to have an incredible run, okay? I think it's going to have an incredible run. And perhaps 10 years, we see that incredible run really grow and pay off. But it's all speculation. We don't know where any of this is going. The world could end tomorrow, okay? So we need to just remember, at the end of the day, these are just cards. And I love them, okay? But they're also art. And art, as long as you take care of them, will always be valuable. But anyways, guys, I'm not going to hold your time up anymore because there's been a lot of rambling, and obviously I could go on and on for hours. But I do want to know your thoughts, guys. Are you with me on this one? Do you think I'm just, blowing a lot of hot smoke out or something? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Do you think the One Piece card game is going to be worth it in the next 5 to 10 years in terms of long-term investments? Let me know. A video should pop up on the screen. I hope to see you over there. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you there.